When aliens allegedly arrived at a mall in South Florida, the absolutely insane reaction to the event did not help but fuel theories. During the transition from the new year, people would be enjoying the mall ready to celebrate, but everything would take a turn once the first scream of pure terror came. From what we can see in video captured by witnesses, the Bayside Mall in Miami, Florida quickly turned into a stampede of horrified civilians, all trying to evacuate the mall as quickly as possible once they saw the shadowy beings appear. Eyewitness claims have reported to have seen up to 3 large humanoid-looking figures in the central atrium or food court area that had what was seemingly a faint luminescence to their skin, as well as appearing dark and pale. Even though these figures caused widespread panic and mass police turnout due to their concerning appearance, they surprisingly were not harmful from what has been reported, actually having been said to be innocently curious with the objects around the mall, leaving no official alien casualties. In terms of numbers when it came to how many police turned out to this event, clearly multiple hundreds, but an exact number was never disclosed. Just as many other things that should come with such a huge amount of a police presence were never disclosed. Among bodycam video, CCTV, and more official evidence which should be easily presentable everywhere nowadays, none of these have been able to be provided by police. And with so many curious as to what they will not show, people have taken to their own initiative to request footage and other information about the incident from government offices like the police department and human resources, etc. But for this Redditor, when it came to getting the bodycam footage, they were shut down under the reason of minor safety. Even though the police department and other city offices posted many videos of the alleged aftermath of the conflict on the news and other social medias.
To slow it down, then people got pepper spray, then that's when the police started coming, and then after the police started coming, they told everybody get out, and then not everybody by the street.
Which pretty much rules that out for a reason to not show visual evidence what happened at the mall that day. And when we speak of this conflict, this was actually what the Miami PD claimed to be what was behind all of this incident. Not aliens, of course, just some teenagers fighting with fireworks. The official story coming from the local police is that a teenager had initiated a fight by what seemed ensuing panic by lighting fireworks, which somehow resulted in a mass of teenagers all fighting each other and blowing up fireworks, which I suppose could be true because teenagers can be crazy, but that just simply does not make much sense to me. And as to why any amount of teenagers could ever warrant this amount of police, I don't really know. And if we compare it to other tragedies that go on, such as school shootings and other horrible events, the turnout of police still is not even comparable. But also, if there was fireworks and you would think that there would be fire, arson, things like that going on, why is there no fire trucks? I mean, this comment says it pretty well. I didn't really think of it, but it's a good point. Clearly, a lot of these details confuse many, leading to raise questions about what is the truth. But with all of this evidence, not including that, it can definitely make it hard to lean in a certain direction. Okay, so when speaking about this event, it is absolutely impossible to avoid the mass amount of horribly obviously fake proof on YouTube and all over the internet of what is supposedly the Miami Mall alien incident. This mass varies from a small portion of it being somewhat believable, better quality, and the majority of it being similar to something like this. And to be honest, the fact some people believe these is honestly just worrying. Like, I'm pretty sure this is just a Doctor Strange portal kinda comped in with a CCTV overlay. I mean, come on. When it comes to how there somehow could just not be any good smartphone footage in this day and age, it has actually come to be rumored that the duty of confiscating phones to ensure what these creatures really looked like was hidden was given to the mass amount of police surrounding the scene, making it easier for them to make sure no evidence of what they looked like ever made it out.
Everyone has a cell phone. Why were there no actual photographs or videos just from civilians?
As they were leaving the mall, the cops had surrounded the mall and were stopping people and checking their phones and deleting photos and video.
If this is true, then this must go pretty deep. And oh, does it go deep? Really deep. With the overbearing amount of what seems to be extraterrestrial activity in the following year, it definitely could leave some wondering, is all of this connected? And when it comes to drones, things coming out of the sea, and all other insane recent events, I can't really say whether there is a connection comfortably, but I can tell you about a huge rumor of connections between the event in Miami and the Large Hadron Collider at CERN, which is based in Switzerland, so it is without a doubt a way aways, but if you've watched a very specific show on Netflix, you could probably see why this could still be seen as possible. If you haven't, allow me to get you up to speed. In the show Stranger Things, some teens go to a mall, which is in this case in Indiana. Directly under the mall, there is a Soviet-Russian operation that is doing something that is clearly inspired by the idea of the compact muon solenoid detector at CERN, or CMS, we'll just call it that from now on. But there is a concept repeated throughout the show that scientists use these CERN-looking devices to open up portals into new dimensions. In the show, these portals can sometimes be used as not only portals to other worlds, but to other portals on Earth. And this whole thing seems to be kind of close-knit to it. I mean, they even fight the alien with fireworks in the mall in the show. And its relativity to the show was definitely one of my first thoughts when actually hearing about this story, but the whole thing was very quickly debunked when we take into account that the collider was actually in its hibernation phase and was not operating from later 2023 until later April. So aka no real life Stranger Things. Sorry guys. Yeah, sorry you guys all weren't 80s kids, it's not my fault. But besides it being a repeat of Starcourt Mall, there are beyond a few accounts of what people claim happened that New Year's night at the mall. And when I say beyond a few, I mean a ton. This is when we must remember that the internet is full of people who are starving for droplets of clout, even if it means lying out the ass. But still, let's go see some of these witness accounts. First being someone named Guy Named Fitz on TikTok, who claims to be some kind of special witness to the whole situation. He does most definitely have one of the most in-depth accounts of most witnesses that support the idea of something extraterrestrial at least, but not all of it sounds that concrete.
A lot of stuff has happened since you released your eyewitness account.
I honestly didn't think that it was going to be paid attention to, because there were so many people that were like lying and saying stuff online. And to be honest, there was a lot of people there that night, so not everyone saw the same thing. There was a lot of people that were just running because other people were running, and it was only like a small portion of the, the market goers that actually saw what happened. It wasn't like everyone. It was, there were people there for sure, but I would not say that everybody saw it. I was there at the Bayside Mall with my family, and we all saw exactly what happened. So basically what happened was I was there with my brother Brian, my sister and my nephew. We were looking for shoes, and then we see a whole crowd of people outside the store, just running out in a direction. So, as soon as you saw it, we were like, oh shit, what's going on? So we immediately ran out with our nephew. Me and my brother, we looked behind us, and then we see these 3 9-10 foot tall creatures. I'm not gonna say aliens. Everyone keeps saying it's aliens. I'm not saying aliens because I don't know what it was. It looked like it was glitching.
He also entertains the idea that police may have been checking phones.
A lot of witnesses who were there claimed that the police deleted the footage from their phone.
Yeah, there were a lot of people there. People had their phones taken away and video files deleted, us included. What made our situation a little bit different is that I do have footage, and I didn't take it on a smartphone. A lot of people don't really know me like that, and I get it, but I'm kind of like a 90s guy. For example, I still have a flip phone, that I carry around on me pretty often. Whenever I go on vacations with my family, I do take a VHS camcorder. And that night, when everyone was getting their phones confiscated and files deleted, nobody noticed that I had a VHS camcorder, at all. No one even would suspect someone of having a VHS camcorder. So, yeah, I have the footage here.
But his descriptive story is not actually what made him such an infamous prophet, but actually because he claimed to have some of the best footage to come out of all the madness. Being because he didn't just have a phone to record, which would have been deleted, but a VHS camcorder. But before I show you this footage, we have to remember that analog horror is some of the easiest to fake due to the lack of quality needed, due to everyone knowing that it's going to be poor film quality. But without further ado, let's review this footage.
The tall ones, a species shrouded in secrecy. And hopefully, this doesn't get censored, which it possibly may. The tall ones aren't just another alien species. Reports suggest they are biological mechanical hybrids.
This video was from Fitz's official TikTok account and is probably one of the most odd or interesting videos I've ever seen, just because I've never seen someone so fraudulently try to put together a video to make it seem like they're missing. In terms of the alien footage, if I was an old person, I can't say this wouldn't have fooled me most likely. This even being before AI video was good, so this was most likely made in Blender or something, just like the intro to this video was. as they look barely somewhat similar. I mean, they have both CG aliens in them, so I don't really know. But anyway, all the boomers in the comments of this TikTok don't question it for a second, and some even seem worried for the Fitz guy, considering in the video he talks about his disappearance. And like I said earlier, this is kinda worrying. And imagine how they'll sound as they tell all their family this Thanksgiving about the TikTok video of time traveler demon coming from a whole different dimension, and it was glitching and everything, and he kidnapped the Fitz. I mean, like, I can already hear it in my head, dude. But we see more interviews and other claims from this guy, fueling the flow of theories and reasons why the PD or government would try to hide something so hard. But in reality, I speculate he never actually got interviewed and probably made the majority of these himself. And this could be true because soon after coming out about this story, he claims that it was fake all along.
Whoa, guys, hey, this is Fitz. I'm okay. I just want to let you guys know everything's fine. I'm not actually in a manhunt. This is actually just a film project, and it's like a little character that I've created around the Bayside thing. My bad if it affected you that way. I owe you one. You might not like me, but I still like you.
Even though Fitz seems clearly unhappy to make this statement, and the viewers acknowledging this, there was even apparently a court hearing about the incident where Fitz was apparently named, but some say it's AI and some say it's not. A problem that will only become more frequent in time to come, and due to that fact, we're only going to cover it at that. Besides the mass of other pieces of indecipherably fake info people have just stuck to the story, this is the general end of guy named Fitz's story. Well, in terms of Miami Mall aliens at least. But of course, there are plenty more witnesses, with a lot of folk varying when it comes to story. But one of the most similar is someone named @notlick_1.
My name is Nodik, and I was also at the mall when I saw the 10 feet alien. What I saw, I was just standing in the side of the mall, and then I saw everybody running towards the center of the mall. As everybody's running towards the center of the mall, I went to try to take out my phone. But as soon as I got to my phone, I looked up and I see this 10 feet creature just like moving side to side. The images was like cutting in and out. It wasn't clear, but it was a little shaky. The cops came, it was like a million cops out there. And then they asked everybody for their phones right before we departed. But I got somebody with a picture and a video.
This person has a very similar account on some key features of the event, like what the creatures looked like, how police reacted upon them leaving, and all the stuff like that. And it even seems that this guy might even mention Fitz at the end of this clip, as we heard him talk about him knowing someone who got footage of it that was running with him out of the mall. Without him directly saying his name though, with as many people that were there, there's no really way to tell for sure. If he did mention a sincere connection to Fitz though, I would immediately have to question the legitimacy of his story, just because of Fitz's previously mentioned bunk footage, and I really just cannot seem to believe it. But they both do mention that the aliens look like they were glitching or something. Could this be two similar accounts of what really was saw? Or two people going off each other's stories to boost each other on social media? Because it does seem very possible people could have gone off of Fitz's story, as he is most definitely either one of the first or the best to do the whole "I saw an alien at the Miami Mall" act. Maybe due to the quirk of his VHS camera making it all the more reliable source of the people? I'm not sure. And at this point, it does seem the majority of things that come out of this incident just are pure clout chase driven. But we can see that this especially when we look at the pure number of people who just tried to claim some kind of experience with the event, even though the stories do not line up at all.
And I had no idea that I would be somewhere where something like this will be taking place. But I had to make sure I was safe. I had got some help and I was able to take a bus ride all the way to the other side.
That you guys don't believe in that, but we saw 12 fucking goddamn foot fucking aliens, no fucking lie. And what happened when my brother tried to record? Everything turned off.
A loud explosion. That's what
there was a lot of
everybody
explosion.
in there. Everybody run. All you seen was a bunch of little 14-year-old, like 15-year-old
Get the fuck
kids
out of here, bro.
fucking running, bro. Like, come on, bro.
Yeah, and then immediately
Go,
everything turned off. Everything turned off.
The majority of the evidence is just so clearly fake at first glance, I feel like most people are just saying, why even care about the whole incident at this point, right? Wrong. With a little bit of digging, we can actually find out that this happened about exactly a year ago, to a pretty similar amount. A mass disturbance took place at the same mall, apparently having something very similar, but not to the capacity at what happened early 2024, but during the same time of the year, for the same thing? I doubt it can't be related. So what is really happening in Miami every New Year? Where is the actual footage? And shouldn't there be mass amounts of real footage of the alleged fight between 50 teens or the fireworks inside the mall? Where are the body cam and security footages? Where were the fire trucks? Where was everything? It is very possible that the absurd amount of fake evidence and lack of real footage, among many other things, are part of a sweep to hide whatever actually happened at the mall at that New Year's night. Or maybe that's all there really ever was.